from the mother as well, from my mother. You know, it's really like a slap in the face for you to have a child that you're not even gonna love for real. And then you tell me that I didn't tell you to have them kids, referring to my kids. But I didn't tell you to have me either, but you did. You know? You said that's what those type of mothers would say. I'm only required to put a roof over your head and shoes. Exactly. And when you turn 18, you can get out. My mama said that so much. I left at 17, y'all. I did her one better. I left at 17. I'm out of here. With the same guy that she tried to, she eventually sabotaged that relationship with. I moved out at 17. We went and got an apartment, and I was paying like $300 a month at the time. I'm out of here. Bye. I could not stand living with her. I hated it. To this day, that would be the last person. If she the last person on Earth house that I have to go to, I'm sorry. I had to sleep under a bridge or something. I can't. She said, I told my mother maybe in August that she told me everything except how to be mean. She said, mean? I said, yes, say what I mean what I say. Uh-huh. And I did. I learned a lot from her, too. I learned a lot of ways how not to be from my mother. And there were some things that she did say that was of value, but 95% of it wasn't. So I took, as I do now, I take some, I leave some, I take with some things that I learned as a kid that was the little things I did learn that was beneficial, and I take those things. I read a lot, and I study psychology, although I'm not a psychologist, but I study the psyche, psychoanalysis, and things like that. I make sure that, you know, I seek the information so that I'm able to apply it to my life and, you know, apply it to my children and things like that. So I didn't learn much from them, though. I learned everything how not to be. Thank you, Kristen. Wait a minute. Did I miss something, Malika? Y'all know, when I'd be talking, I don't be reading the comments like that. He said, oh, y'all, don't let me leave out this part. Okay. You say you left at 18 too. She was telling you to leave. She said, yeah. She's like, I ain't gotta. So he said, no, I did you one better. I sure did her one better. I did. I left. Bye. And she ain't try to stop me either. She did not try to stop my ass. You say you never ever have lived with your baby. She's still with your mom. Is that what you're saying? You say one of the colonial jacket. He was gasping. Wow. Hey, Rena. I'm telling your story. Yeah. Because I'm telling y'all, the energy be the same. They work from that same distorted feminine and masculine energy. Very abusive, very neglectful. He said, man, one person just tell the truth. Yeah. You talking about with the case? Yeah. You ain't live with your mom after 13? For the most part, I would be at my grandma, because my grandma was a lot easier for me to deal with, even though she was like a covert narcissist. Like, she was still easier to deal with. So I felt a little bit more what I thought was loved at my grandmother's house, although it was still very conditional too, because she only did things for the grandkids that She wanted to use. So, yep, I'm getting it real. Okay, Malika. So Malika, you saying you have a child that's with your mother right now? What time is it? B, yep, they did take the kids. So that's not strict, that's being emotionally abusive. I'm not sure. Maybe y'all haven't. Maybe Donna Truth, are you talking to me? Rena says, right, the women that was born in the 60s hit different. I don't know what happened to them. And look, my mama was born in the 70s, but my grandma was born in the 50s, and her mother was born in the 20s. And my great grandmother that was born in the 20s was abusive to her children. She was colorist. Even though she was a dark-skinned woman, she was colorist and abusive. They were poor as well, according to my grandma. So that could have played a difference again because she's in survival mode. Okay. I had to learn how to not be mentally in survival mode, even if I was trying to survive in this 3D. I had to learn how to thrive in survival mode. I still had to learn how to be present trying to survive because I did not want survival to control how I treated my children and how I showed up for my children and myself. So everything is a choice. And that's also how you step into the energy of creating your own reality. Thank you, Misty. That's also how you step into the energy of creating your own reality when you learn how to thrive even while you're surviving, because now you're present. Now you have become now you're in the present moment where you can be mindful and start to be mindful in your thinking, in your thought patterns, and your behaviors. So now you are creating simultaneously a new reality for yourself, which will be more of a thriving reality, a blissful reality. But it requires you to make a choice. It requires you to not attach to what you see and what you think you are surviving in, because this is just an experience, right? We're multidimensional beings having a human experience. So that means you have to practice the art of detachment and not attach yourself to the things that you see, because it's just this present moment was created in one way or the other. This present moment that you're in was created by you. So if the matrix can keep you in survival mode, that means you're going to constantly create a reality that is based off of survival, which means now you're going to jeopardize your whole family dynamic because everybody is now in survival mode. Everybody's nervous system is out of whack and unstable. You know, everybody's mindset is more so in a selfish mindset, all about me. I got to survive, forget you type of mentality. And a lot of our families don't know how to come out of that paradigm thinking. They don't know how to transform their survival paradigm into a thriving paradigm. So instead, they abuse, use, and traumatize everything around them, including themselves. It sure is. It is a lot of Annettes. Annette is representing that archetype that all of us have within our family dynamic. Shannon, she represents an archetype that a lot of us have in our family dynamic. And if you don't have a Shannon, you probably got a Naziah. And if you don't got a Naziah, you probably got a lady. And if you ain't got them, you probably got a Jarvis. All of them are matrix family archetypes. All of them. Yep, you say you are Naziah. Sorry you had to experience that. Sorry you had to experience that. A lot of us are a Naziah. Lavina, Grand Rising, Don the Truth says soulmate can come and go, but them kids, they gonna be here forever, BFC. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, which will be my children. And ain't nobody finna come sabotage in my garden. This is my garden. You're not finna do that. Any man that's making you feel like you got to choose between him and your children, get rid of his ass. And vice versa. If you're a male, get rid of her. You should never be in a situation where you have to choose between your relationship with your children and your significant other. No, they're a manipulator. They're a liar. They're trying to triangulate you against your children. They're trying to sabotage your relationship with your children. They hate you. They want to disrespect you. And they probably are some type of predator. Okay. That's an immediate no. And that's an immediate red flag. Somebody that is meant for you is going to come in harmony. They're going to come in unconditional love. They're not going to come trying to harm your children, trying to control and dominate your children, trying to tell you how you need to be towards your children. I almost lost my oldest son trying to maintain a relationship with my ex-boyfriend while he was sabotaging me and my son's relationship in real time at that time. I just remember saying, like, my son, he just feels so mentally disconnected from me. And it had got to the point where he didn't even want to be in the house with us. He wanted to be at his dad's house. I'm like, wait a minute, something is off. Something is off. And I was just trying to figure out what it was. But see, a manipulator, like a master manipulator, and a person that knows how to triangulate situations and project, they have the ability to almost like throw rocks and hide their hands. So that what was happening. That's exactly what was happening between me and my relationship with my son. And he would say things like, you love your kids more than you love me. You're right. He was turning my son against me. He was turning my son against me. And then I realized that my son's biological father was doing the same thing. I caught them having a conversation. One day I was disciplining my son. And I was told him, give me your phone. You can't have your phone. And he went upstairs, came back. Well, he didn't come back down yet, but I went upstairs. I was getting ready to go upstairs and talk to him. And as I'm going upstairs, he on the phone with his biological father. And I hear his father coercing him on how he needs to hide his phone, how I'm on some bullshit, and basically trying to coerce him on how to handle me in my house and how he should be disrespectful to me. See, it's those type of parents that are detrimental to the mental and emotional state of the child. You should never coerce your child to go against their parent when you know that their parent means them well and that child was being disrespectful. But like I said, people who don't operate from unconditional love and respect, They only seek to devour, sabotage, tear down, and create spaces of chaos rather than transformation and harmony. He tried to sabotage my relationship with my son as well. He was feeding into my son's negative emotions instead of putting him in a mindset of, you know, calmness. Hey, let's talk about this. Your mom is actually right. She does these things for you, or just putting him in a mind state where the foundation of respect is still intact. Because I can discipline my son without being abusive, and that should be okay, and that should also be supported by the other parent. I haven't talked to him since. I haven't talked to his father since. I don't have nothing to say to you. Don't ever call my phone again. Ever. My son is old enough. He has his own phone. You want to talk to him, call him. Don't ever talk to me again in life. I'm done. Because I realized in that moment that he was the reason behind the power struggle between me and my son. After I had already got rid of my ex, I kept thinking to myself, why do I keep having this power struggle with my son? It should be no power struggle when respect is the foundation here. I know the foundation that I'm creating. So where is this coming from? So Spirit allowed me to hear that conversation. Spirit allowed that situation to take place so that I can hear that conversation. Yeah. Yep. And guess what? I haven't had no problem since. And the energy that my son was giving off in this power struggle, it reminded me of that same energy of the guy I was in a relationship with that was very abusive. Okay, it was a domestic violent relationship, and my son will kind of give off that energy. Not that I felt like he would attack me, but the power struggle energy read that. And I'm thinking, no, I need to get this intact, because my son is not going to grow up and think that he can ever rise up at a woman and put his hands on a woman and think that it's okay to be in power struggles with a woman. Because it starts with me. I know the power that I have over my children. I know the example that I'm setting for my children it's contributing to their psyche. I'm creating that right now. So I know I'm not contributing to my son being a woman beater, or a man that lacks self-control and that lacks the ability to critically think. I know I'm not creating that. So I knew it was coming from somewhere else. I just needed to figure out where. And this is what I mean when I say the mother's is the Lilith in the child's life. The mother creates the monster, or she creates the superhero, the superhuman. The mother creates the monster or the superhuman. That's the power that the mother possesses, but toxic mothers manipulate that power for her own gain, and then wonder why them same people that you manipulated in their childhood grow up and not like you, when they realize what you've done and the damage that you caused to them. No, I take this very serious. And people will be jealous of the parent, or you as a parent, that has the foundation of respect. They would try to sabotage that. They would try to sabotage the unconditional love that you have for your child. They would try to change the perspective of how that child views you, because they're envious of the relationship and the connection that you have with that child. It's sick, but that's the duality of it. You got people that operate from all things disrespect, sabotage, abuse. And then you got those that operate from all ways of being respectful, benevolent, high regard, admiration. And that is why it's important to pay attention to who you have a child with. Because depending on their Lilith in their mind, like Jarvis, his Lilith is the reason that he turned out to be the man that he is today. The mother has more power over that male child than the father do. I guarantee it. Why? Because that Lilith, that energy, that Lilith in that birth chart is the one that develops the psyche. And if that mother is dismissive to that male child, if she is harsh and callous to that male child, that child is going to grow up and become all of that. Be abusive to women, no respect, no self-control. The mother, it's the mother that has the power. So I don't feel sorry for no mama, no mother that was toxic, manipulative, triangulating, playing favoritism, mistreating and abusing her children, and they grow up and cut her ass off. I don't feel sorry for it, because you should have took your position more serious than what you did. Don't feel sorry for them at all. And that whole concept of parenting don't come with a handbook, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because what did you try to research anything? Did you try to change any of your ways? Did you try to develop anything within yourself that could contribute to the well-being and success of your child? No, you didn't. And then you use the excuse of parenting don't come with a handbook. Bullshit. You got to do the work. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to do the work for you. You got to go within yourself, heal yourself, transform that, and then take that same transformation and instill it in your children, and keep transforming with your children over and over and over again. It's a continuous cycle. You say it don't come with no handbook, come with feelings, but if they ain't able to feel for themselves and they're very 3D minded, they ain't gonna be able to feel nothing no way. But they just use that as an excuse. Like, oh, I didn't know how to be a parent. My family ain't show me how to be no parent either. If I took their advice on how to parent, my children will grow up with the same dynamic that me and my mother got. I didn't want that for me and my children. So what I do? I did something about it. I didn't just stand back and just let it fall apart. You say, Lady Isis, today I'm so strong. But I am respectful to those that earn and deserve it. Yes, me too. You say some mothers was mistreated by men, so they don't mind their sons mistreating women. Exactly. And that was the thing with my ex, who was extremely abusive. His mother would act so stupid and oblivious, like she don't know. Oh, I don't know where he got that from. I don't know why he act like that. Or she just didn't want to hear it at all. And when he got locked up, she went and put $1,000 on the lawyer for attacking me. You go put $1,000 on the lawyer and then thought I wasn't gonna find out, knowing that your son can't hold water, because he want everybody. He wanted to keep up this image, like, yeah, I got people on my side and they don't see that I'm doing no wrong. Yeah, that's why my mama put $1,000 on my lawyer. And I'm like, what? Okay, cool. So I called the mama up. I said, hey, Miss Such and Such, what's going on? What are I needed to know, like, what we doing? And then she tried to explain, but what is it to really explain? You put some money on a lawyer to get your son out of jail when he should have set his ass there. He should have sat there. Should have set his ass right where he was at. Awareness, yes. Please pay attention to your children. Love conquers. That gives you fine ears to hear. Yes, I would never ever choose, if I could, to ever relive my past. Yeah, me either. Mm-mm. They gonna stick behind them. You right. You right. But see, I needed to see that. I needed to experience that because I knew where she stood. Then it's like, okay, you're not gonna stand for what's right. That mother was only doing what she doing because she wants to uphold her image. If that son is narcissistic, I can guarantee you his mama is, if he a monster, his mama a bigger monster. I can guarantee it. But see, she gonna try to act like she's not. She got, they try to cover it up with, they have a decent house, they might have drive a decent car, they might have, a little money in a bank account, a little change. So they think that those things would shield them from people seeing them exactly who they are. But if you can see, you can see. And if you could pick up on exactly who they is, and you can see past the facade that they want to keep up. His mama was jealous of how I raised my children and how I communicate with my children. She was jealous. She tried to triangulate my kids. She definitely did. She chose one that she liked the most and tried to triangulate the other two against my one son, and then be nice to this one more than that one. She tried to do the same shit that I seen my family do. Same thing. And she do that with her own kids. She got one favorite, and then the other two she don't really like. You don't know any mother that will leave their child in jail. He's not a child. He was a grown ass 29-year-old man that hit on me and strangled me. He needed to sit his ass in jail. And it's women like you that think like that that's very problematic to how these men develop psychologically. It's women like you that is the problem. My son already know, and he's 14. You get your ass locked up for putting your hands on a woman, you gonna sit there. I'm not coming to get you. He knows this. Why? Because I demand my son develop some self-control. You gonna learn some self-control as long as I'm your mama. If you feel like you gotta put your hands on a woman, you look weak. You are weak. Fuck you mean? I'm in here with that dumbass comment. It ain't no about no being truth. That ain't no truth. That's a lie, and that's bullshit. That's a lie. And if you got a son, I feel sorry for him. You are an enabler to your child thinking like that. Children need to learn to take accountability and responsibility for how they react. Tell my kids all the time, you can be mad all you want. You have a right to be upset. But what you do while you're mad is on you. What am I seemingly teaching my child? How to maintain self-control. We're going to talk this down. My son feel like you got to put your hands on a female, you need to leave immediately. If she's antagonizing you to the point where you feel like you can't control yourself, you need to leave immediately. It's gotta be, Rena. Because that's that idiotic mindset that's causing problems like Naziah Harris right now. That's the problem right there. And this is why I talk about what I talk about. Because people like you that think shit like that is okay, and you think that a grown ass man don't need to sit at a fucking jail cell if he abusing women or abusing children, touching on kids, whatever. No, it's unacceptable. He said they knew you wasn't going for that bullshit. I was abused. So exactly. No, absolutely not. And I told y'all the power struggle that I was feeling between me and my son, it was giving that vibe. So I'm like, I'm finna pull that up at the root. I'm not even finna entertain that energy. I'm finna get rid of that right now. Cause you're not gonna grow up thinking that you can go toe to toe with no woman. And if you feel like she trying to go toe to toe with you, she don't need to be in your space. She don't need to be in your space. Right. Enabling his abusive behavior. Absolutely. Right, Ebony. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. Regulating their emotions and becoming emotionally intelligent. That's just it. Mm-hmm. She say I need to be on a really big platform. Because I love this. I love talking about this. In case y'all haven't noticed, I love talking about this. I love to teach this. I do. She would say that he didn't see her get abused, but people lie. People lie. And even if he didn't, let's say he didn't see his mother get abused, she probably abused him. Then he developed in his psyche, I want to get back at all women because my mama hated me. And based off the interactions that I seen him have with his mama would dog him out all the time. So I could just imagine when he was a kid. So even if he didn't see his mama getting beat up on, he wanted to beat up on all women because he hate his mama. That's what we would call mommy issues. He has really strong mommy issues. So a man that hates his mother, his Lilith, okay, he's going to hate all women. And he's going to respect men. Why? Because he gets that respect from other men that he didn't get from his mama. If she just would have loved him a little bit, maybe, just maybe, he might have stood a chance. Talk about him like a dog, call him black, fat, ugly. Don't see how he got a girlfriend. Ain't good enough. His friend's better than him. All of that shit matter. All of that verbal abuse, it matters. Never call my kids out their name. I don't even allow them to call each other out their name. I have 3 boys. And y'all know how boys can get if you got sons. Every time I hear them call each other out their name, whether they playing or not, I correct them. Don't do that. I don't do that. I don't never call my kids out their name. I don't never refer to their skin as black, ugly. Never. I never belittle them in ways like that, ever. Right. Building confidence is very important. There's a way to get your point across, even if you're upset with your child, without belittling them. And I ain't gonna say I might